James Farthing and his attorney didn't have much to say at his arraignment Monday.
No comment. No comment.
Court records show Farthing's mother posted bond for him on Sunday. He appeared in court in person alongside his attorney. An arrest citation says Farthing entered a home on Kennesaw Drive around 7:15 p.m. Saturday. Police say the homeowner saw Farthing entering the home on her cameras and heard a loud noise that sounded like a door had been busted open. Police say Farthing left the scene in a black Porsche before officers got there. Once they arrived, they say the homeowner reported $12,000 missing from her back room. It was here in the Red Mile parking lot where police say they found Farthing's car. They also say they found marijuana inside of his vehicle. They say he was arrested without any incident. Farthing's lottery win last April made history as the highest Powerball prize ever in Kentucky, $167 million. If you play the lottery, that may sound like a dream come true, but there can be downsides to winning a lot of money, according to problem gambling experts.
Many people, when they win large sums of money and they're not used to that kind of money available to them, become very irresponsible with it, and the money often disappears.
When playing the lottery or gambling in general, Ronson Clark says there are ways to keep yourself aware to prevent your habits from turning into a problem.
We need to look at risk reduction, and this would be things like set a limit. I'm only going to spend $50 or $100, what you can afford to lose. What is money that's earmarked for entertainment purposes?
Clark says it's important to set a time limit for gambling as well. In Lexington, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.